If they want to fight, we'll give them a fight.
Verbal riot.
What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the show. So, the war between game developers, game journalists versus gamers rages on, and it's not going to let up anytime soon. Right now, we're going to be talking about a very specific game, though, that these journalists and developers are both attacking, which is Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade is an action, it's not an RPG, but just a really fun action game. And I can say that because I played the demo. And it's by Korean developers Shift Up, which I believe is going to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive. But the reason why there's so much outrage about this particular game is because, and get this, the lead character is attractive. The lead character is attractive, and that's why game developers and game journalists are angry about this. They're angry because the lead character Eve is sexy. They're angry because she's pleasing to the male gaze.
She got a great ass.
And yes, she has an amazing ass. And I guess in gaming these days, that is a no-no. The weird thing about this, guys, if I'm gonna be honest with you, is you are playing this character, right? You're playing this character. It's an action game. You're fighting aliens. You're fighting robots. You're fighting other humans. And yet they decided to focus on the appearance of this particular character. Now, if you think I'm exaggerating about this, I'm going to show you right now the trailer, the trailer for this game, so you can see for yourself how much of a not big deal this is, right? Like this is a non-issue that they're making an issue for political and social reasons.
Eve, what are you going to do after you defeat the Alpha Nativa?
All airborne squad members exist for one sole purpose.
It's a gorgeous game.
All
It's
we
a
must
gorgeous
do
game.
is complete the mission.
To think that the point of your existence is to snuff out another species. No fun in that.
So you see what I'm saying when I say this is a non-issue. You guys just watched that trailer, right? It looks like any other action game. Right? She wasn't running around naked. There was no sex scenes, right? It's just an action game. But yet, because the character's attractive, this is where all of the drama comes from. And the reason why it's so dramatic, the reason why they are making such a big deal out of this particular game is because men in particular like the character of Eve, right? They say that her looks are unrealistic. They say that her looks are sexist. And even more ridiculous than that, they said that her looks are dangerous to women. Some journalists even said that her looks in this video game that you just watched will cause women to delete themselves. I can't say the actual word because of YouTube, but they're saying that this game will cause women to do harm to themselves. Really? Really? Show me any grown ass woman that's going to hurt themselves because a character in a video game is attractive. But this is the rhetoric that they're pushing, and they're pushing it hard. They're pushing it hard. Okay. So now, when I say gaming journalists, when I say gaming developers, I'm talking specifically about Western gaming developers, Western gaming journalists, because everyone else in the world, this is average. This is acceptable. People like to look at pretty things, right? See, what they say is it doesn't represent real women. Real women. And I've come to figure this out. I come to figure out that when they say real woman, what they mean is ugly or super fat or both, right? That's the only time they use the term real women, right? See, oddly enough, they don't use that term real women when it comes to trans women. Right? Because if you say real women in reference to like trans women, then then you're a bigot. You're a transphobe. You should never say the word real women unless you're talking about video games and you're talking about unattractive women. Now, I will show you what Western developers consider real women. But before I do that, I need you guys to understand something. The character of Eve in Stellar Blade is literally based on a real woman. I'm gonna show you right now. This is the model for Eve. This is the real life model, right? She's a real woman, right? They use her face and her likeness and her body for the character. Now, of course, they exaggerated certain body parts just a little bit, but not by much from what I've seen of this chick. They didn't exaggerate it that much. And not only is she a real woman, she is the girlfriend of the lead developer of the game. You want to know what they said about this character, which is kind of funny? IGN, who's been losing credibility for years now. Like I don't know who actually gets their advice from IGN or gets a gaming advice from IGN. They're done. No one cares about IGN anymore. But this particular branch of IGN, which was IGN France, because I got to make that distinction, said this about the character. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. There it is. All right. So this particular journalist said it's not new, and other games have chosen to highlight the strengths of their female characters. But where Bayonetta stands out with an iconic character design, I'm about to get to that in a minute, or 2B from Near Automata inspires an entire generation of cosplayers. I'm gonna get to that too. E from Stellar Blade, check this out. E from Stellar Blade is just bland. A doll, sexualized by someone who has never seen a woman. So basically, they're claiming that the developer is an incel. I just showed you his girlfriend. I showed you the character model. That's his woman, right? But this journalist who doesn't know what the hell she is talking about because it was a she, I believe, doesn't know what she's talking about when she makes this claim that he's never seen a real woman, right? Now I said I was going to go back to Bayonetta and 2B. Those two female characters, IGN trashed them. Well, woke gaming journalists trashed both Bayonetta and 2B as being male fantasies of what women should look like. Right? Now they're calling them iconic. They're calling them, inspiration, right? To cosplayers everywhere, right? In reference to 2B. If you've seen the character of 2B, she literally wears nothing practically, right? Like she wears a thong and a blindfold and wields a sword, right? But they're praising her now, right? All of a sudden they're praising her when before they were slamming her for being a sexist ideal. These journalists are full of shit. But anyway, I, what they're trying to do, and you can call this a conspiracy theory, but I'm about to prove my theory right. What they're trying to do is, over the past couple of years, they have literally gone out of their way to make female characters unattractive, right? Going out of their way. And then when we started noticing, when we started calling it out, all of a sudden, us gamers are incels, right? All of a sudden, we are uh pathetic boys who want something to jack off to, right? Right? That like that's that those are the labels that they've thrown on gamers who've called them out. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna show you something, and tell me if I'm crazy. Right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong in all of this. So what these developers have done is they will take an attractive model, a woman, an actual real woman, right, to base a character on. They'll take an attractive woman and uglify her, right? Make them completely unattractive. And they've been doing this for a while now. I'm gonna show you just a few examples. I can't show you all my examples because we'd be here for like 3 hours, but I'm gonna just show you a few. So this is from the upcoming Star Wars Outlaws game. It looks like garbage, but anyway, that's beside the point. The lady on the right, that's the model. Look at her face. Look how attractive she is. And then look at her character model. I mean, what? We've all seen this one right here. This is from the upcoming Fable 4 game. You know, the lady on the left, she's attractive enough. But man, look what they did to her character model. Look at that shit. That is one of the ugliest game models I think I've ever seen in my life. And I've been around for a long time, y'all. I'm not young. And I'm telling you, that's one of the worst things I've ever seen. Look at that shit. I'm gonna show you another one. So this is from Darius P. Darius P, for those who don't know, and you probably don't, he's big in the Mortal Kombat world, right? Like he makes amazing tutorials on Mortal Kombat. I've been following Darius P for a while now. I have a lot of respect for the guy. And he's a very non-controversial guy for the most part, right? But even he had to show this nonsense or call out this nonsense, right? Look at the model. The model on the left is the actual face model. And then look at what they did on the right. And so Darius says, yeah, he's just basically saying that they should redo her face. They should redo her face. And they should, because wow. And you know, we've all seen this one. And this is I think from the Horizon game, right? This character of Abby. This is the model who is, you know, attractive enough, I guess, in real life. But her model, actually, this is a better looking model than I've seen. Because most of the game models I've seen of this character are pretty horrendous. So this is actually a good one, and that's saying a lot. So their their reasoning for this is they want, you know, the game models to look more quote unquote realistic. Again, remember what I said, that word realistic always means ugly, fat, or both. So they want their characters to look more realistic. But then there's the game developers who have been making excuses on Twitter X, saying that it's very hard to get the uh the female face accurate, right? Like it's hard to digitize the female face, which I find completely BS. It's complete BS. And I call BS because of this. I'm gonna show you guys one more thing. Here are examples of the models and then their versions of them in the game. Weird that the attractive models also have attractive game models. Why were these companies able to do this? Right? Why were these companies able to make the attractive model in real life look attractive in the game? These people are full of it. And I'm starting to understand why. I started putting some things together. See, if you notice in every ugly picture I showed you, and don't forget about my last video where I talked about the character of Mary Jane in the Spider-Man game, right? And how terrible she looked, right? Remember supermodel Mary Jane? What they're trying to do, and if you notice with these ugly characters, is these characters look almost mannish, right? Like really masculine looking, if you will. There's a reason for that. Again, this could be just my conspiracy theory. They're trying to blur the lines between man and woman, right? See, it's all part of the programming. Now, when I say programming, I'm not talking about the actual programming it takes to make a video game. Nah, nah. I'm talking about social programming, right? Because who plays video games more? I mean, yeah, you have older cats like me who are still playing, but I'm not the target demographic. No, 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 no. The target demographic is youngins, kids, young people, right? See, when you start blurring the lines between man and woman, well, there you go. You have this caters literally to trans people, right? Because if a woman looks very masculine or if a male character looks very feminine, get them young enough, well, kids start growing up thinking that way, right? Yeah, it's an agenda. But it's not a conspiracy theory because these developers are being very open about their agenda, very open. If you watch my last video with the DEI stuff in gaming and Sweet Baby Inc. and all that, Kotaku, this is all part of the plan. What was crazy though is Stellar Blade, because of the amount of popularity it's gained, has become the target for all of these miserable people, right? Remember, God, what was that chick's name? I think it's Alyssa Mercante. Yeah, I talked about her in my last video. Well, the video about Sweet Baby Inc. But Alyssa Mercante, she, I saw a YouTube video of her. She was being interviewed by some simp, some big black simp dude who was basically kissing her ass and agreeing with everything she said. But Alyssa Mercante was basically going off on his game about how the character's not even that attractive, the character is this and that. Alyssa Mercante is miserable, and she's not alone in her fight against us gamers. She's a terrible person. She's miserable.
The worst. She's the worst in the world.
She is absolutely the worst. But see, her and her flock, what they don't get, what they don't understand is I they really think for some reason that they hold all the power in this. They don't. They're a hair away from being unemployed, right? We, with the money, with our money, control their fate. We're the ones who let these gaming companies know. And you know, uh, good on Sony, who is uh who is funding basically this whole project of Stellar Blade. Good on Sony for not backing down. Good on Sony for not, meeting the demands of the woke tribe and changing Eve, because that's what they've been doing. They've been putting pressure on Sony. They've been putting pressure on Shift Up, the developer, to change the character, to make her less curvy, to make her less sexy. They want her to be flat, right? They want her to have a flat ass. They want her to have flat tits. They want her to look almost boyish. Huh. It's weird that this is their demand, right? So, am I crazy? Is it a conspiracy theory that they want these characters to blur the lines between man and woman? Am I wrong? No, absolutely not. These people have no power. We decide with our money whether they eat or not. So I look. I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of this. Uh, Cabrutus, who I mentioned in my Sweet Baby Inc. video, Cabrutus, you can find him on Twitter. He made a list, and I think I talked about this. He made a list of all the woke developers who are doing this shit to our games. Find that list. Find them. Do not support anybody on that list. I mean, if you feel the same way I do. Now, if you're all about supporting this woke shit, by all means, use your money to do that. But if you don't, if you're like me and you don't, go find that list. See, gaming should always have been meant for entertainment, right? Gaming is our escape from the stupid shit that goes on in the world. I don't want my entertainment flooded with somebody else's politics. I don't want my entertainment to be filtered to appease a very small percent of the country. Sorry, I just don't. I want my entertainment to entertain me. I want my video games to entertain me. I want my movies, my TV shows to entertain me. I don't mind a little message here and there within a movie or a show or game, whatever. There's a lot I can tolerate. What I won't tolerate though are these smug assholes thinking they could tell us what we can enjoy because it opposes their agenda. Anyway, guys, this is the video. Stellar Blade comes out April 26th. I played the demo. It's an amazing game. Okay, the lead character being sexy is like a bonus. It's cool to see, but the game itself is legit good. And much like Hogwarts Legacy of last year, remember that? Remember how they tried to kill that game. They tried to bury it. They tried to give it the worst press in the world. And Hogwarts Legacy had the biggest pre-order numbers that any game I think has ever had. And it made the most game. I'm sorry, the most game. It made the most money of any game of 2023. Funny enough, though, it was slighted by the Video Game Awards. It wasn't even nominated, right? The game that outsold every other game wasn't nominated. Why do you think that is? See, I don't care about these politics. I don't care about these social issues. I don't give a shit about diversity or inclusion and all that other shit. I just want a fun game. And I praise games that stick by their guns. Hell, Helldivers 2 has been getting a lot of shit lately by the woke crowd because they won't include rainbow fucking flags or rainbow capes in their game. In a game where soldiers are fighting aliens and robots. We need representation there. No, we don't. No, we don't. We want a fun game. And props to the developers of Helldivers 2 for not giving into that. Anyway, guys, that's it for me today. I just wanted to, get this out. I'm a little late with this video. I was in Vegas all week last week for a meetup, and it was a good time. But it's time to get back to work. And anyway, guys, thank you so much. Please subscribe to the channel. I always appreciate it. Follow me on X. I talk a lot more shit there and get in a lot more trouble there, but it's a good time. And I will talk to you guys soon.